So let's kind of get into organic versus non-organic, what this kind of does for the soil, what sort of things to keep in mind for farmers that are kind of navigating the organic versus non-organic and all that. I'll let you guys, whoever thinks they've got a great answer, go ahead and
I don't have to go first just because I'm sitting beside you. What do you guys jump on?
You know, it loves nitrogen. You got to make sure you have enough nitrogen for this crop. Repeat the question.
Oh, so it's organic versus non-organic.
Okay, versus non-organic. Yeah, there's not that many organic. Is there any organic pesticide or herbicide?
I'm going to share you with the document.
Okay.
I just was provided something from Conserve FS, which traditionally has been a non-organic provider but what I was just provided was a list of the ones that are OMRI and so would be organic. So I'm excited about that, especially for our CBD growers, because they've traditionally been really, if you get pests or weeds or anything, they've been kind of out of luck.
Yeah, I am a no-tiller and I'm certified naturally grown. So we have to use OMRI everything. If we're going to intervene at all on our farm, it's got to be OMRI certified. I'm not organic. That's a really big step to become organic certified. There's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of investment. There's a lot of money involved. But becoming certified naturally grown, that helped me. Right now, all the fiber and grain that I grow stays on my farm because I am a small scale farmer. I have 13 acres. I only farm hemp on one of those acres. Everything stays on my farm. But using these, I guess you could call regenerative. There's a lot of different words for that kind of practice, a lot of information to get into with those practices. But by growing conventionally versus organic or certified naturally grown, like I have at a more artisanal scale, it gives your product, you have entrance to another market that if you're not organic, obviously you're shut out from. So is it harder? Yes. Might be worth the investment, especially if you have your own snack line or your own process, your own brand. It could definitely be worth the extra steps that it takes to become organic.
I'll just say that a lot of times when you get asked about organic versus conventional or regenerative, it's kind of like politics. You got to be careful. You got to read the room, because I've talked to organic farmers. I've talked to conventional farmers. I believe that there's a place for both. You have to follow the market. I believe in organic practices and those that pursue that. I believe in conventional practices as well. To me, the happy kumbaya future would be some type of blending of those two mindsets. Because right now in North Carolina, to transition to organic, either you're going to till the soil 20 times a year to keep the pigweed down, or you're not going to have a crop. So I don't know what's better, a conventional crop or no crop at all. But from where I come from, if you were to snap your fingers and ask for that immediate transition, it'd be a real problem. But I do believe that we're working towards kind of a blending of that. A lot of people don't like it, but regenerative agriculture is kind of the blending of those two practices. So I would just say that to their point, unless there's a market that's demanding organic and giving you a pretty decent premium for that, then it's something that if you're already doing it, it's fine, because there's not that many chemicals anyway that are registered for hemp. So if you're already good at it and you got it going, go for it, But if you're a conventional farmer and that's something that somebody asks of you, right now I don't know the contract that's there to incentivize that. And you'd have to make that decision on your own, like any other crop. Hemp's not different from other crops. You can make your own mind up, organic soy versus not, whether it's worth your time or not. But I'm kind of that guy. You can't really put me in a corner because you can abuse anything. You can abuse any chemistry. And there's some that we have as a group, somewhat abused. But I think there's awareness of that now, and farmers respond to a problem. If the problem is pointed out and some good facts are shown to them, they're gonna change what they're doing. And I think that's happening right now. More cover crops, less trips, everybody wins. It's hard for many people to really fight that argument. So I kind of stay in the let's get along camp and try to blend the best of all the practices that we have at our disposal. Yep, it's no different.
So, because a lot of people, when they think grain, will think food products, and there's a lot of other products. So, being that we kind of had the organic versus non-organic conversation, maybe we can dive into some products that would be ideal for a non-organic or a traditional farmer. Do any of you guys want to speak to, like, you know, I know like glues and different things, biofuels. I'll let you guys kind of elaborate on that. So, you guys want to jump into outlets for non-organic?
Non-organic or non-food?
Either way, non-organic.
Just non-organic.
Non-organic hemp grain. What can these farmers, what outlets can these farmers envision this being sold into? Why would they pursue hemp grain if they were a non-traditional farmer? What sort of outlets would you guys identify as being a means for that? And keeping in mind that this would be a dual purpose for the most part. There is always the stock portion. So I'll let you guys kind of jump off with that question in mind.
I'd say biofuels would be probably a good, you know, biofuels, resins, maybe like different lubricants, things along those lines that are not going into the human body or into a cow, horse, or a chicken. Those would be ideal, I would say. And then I guess just touching back on the non-organic or USDA organic, because, you know, as like Rachel alluded to, it takes a while. You know, if you don't already have USDA certified land, there is a premium for USDA certified products. So those that are growing USDA certified grain are able to get about a double premium on their grain because it is being used in hemp hearts and hemp hulls and things sold in Whole Foods. So, but yeah, I would say that those would be a couple good examples of non-organic
All right.
grain items.